This is a special episode, I guess.
Black Nerd Planet, boy.
Black Nerd Planet. We have a third one in here today. Mr. Maurice Cheeks. That's what I keep thinking of. Oh, no. This is Mo.
What's going on, y'all?
Friend of us and the show, I guess you should say.
Yes, sir.
I'm Jordan Carmichael, of course.
You already know it's your boy M.
The boy.
Classic
boy.
on them. You know.
Classic music.
You already know.
So this is the last episode of 2019 for us.
Adios, 2019.
Was it a good year?
Glad to know you.
Well, I mean, that's a serious question. Was it a good year?
I mean, it was cool. It was
thumbs
good.
down.
Like, it was cool as far as, like, I don't know, technological advancement and, like, video games and stuff.
Another iPhone, another...
Yeah, you know. But as far as, like, I don't know, life, it was a toss-up. We're gonna have to make a new podcast to talk about that.
The trials and tribulations. You gave a sturdy thumbs down. That was a definite. 2019 was whack. Is this like every year people just say that?
No. But I think last year towards the end was pretty decent. But this year, like January to March was pretty cool.
So the first,
as soon as summer hit,
the first third of the year, first
exactly.
fourth of the year.
Summertime come around, we just get to acting a fool, get hot outside.
That's what and it just continued into the winter, until the fall.
Yeah, because once it get ugly in the summer, like the wintertime don't clean nothing up. It don't help. Like you can't
dirty ass snow
come through, freezing all your drama, everything that you had going on froze in the wintertime.
Exactly.
It'll be there later for you.
As soon as it warm up, I'm like, oh yeah, you thought I forgot.
I could hope I'd say that 2019 was, I mean, it was good, I guess. I don't know, it always could be better.
For sure.
Definitely.
I'm not going to put a sturdy thumbs down. I'll probably do like a
half and like 3/4.
Depends on my mood.
Like if the wind blow a little hard, it's probably going to be a no.
Like on the farm, them like compass, them rooster things be spinning.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the roof and shit.
But this is going to be the top 10 of the decade of games for each of us, I guess.
Yeah.
Depending on how we look at how we play games.
Yeah, for sure. Just thinking back, I don't be, you know me, I don't be thinking about the past, man. I let it go.
Yeah,
so,
I've been doing it to you lately.
I'm like, did it happen?
You gotta think, man.
Good. So, I made it through that time of my life. We don't ever have to talk about it again.
Hey, man. Sometimes it's good to reflect.
Yeah, no, it is. You gotta know where you came from.
Big words from Mr. M. Oh man.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Mr. Mo, you've been listening to the show, I guess, which is why you decided to be here.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell? Because I don't know nothing about you too much besides your name and play video games.
That's all you need to know. No, just it.
That sums it up.
No, I mess with the show heavy. I think I missed like last few episodes.
Oh, I ain't had to ride that stuff, nah.
But I fuck with the show heavy. I've definitely kept up since the jump.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I wasn't even trying to go that route necessarily.
Okay.
Just more stuff.
I just check break it all
You
down.
be listening, right?
There's no points. We good.
Nah, but just in terms of like, your level of like, gaming and stuff, because I know you obviously be on the game a decent amount, whatever. So I know just like a quick, like how long you been in the games and stuff, because some people get into it later than you think.
Yeah. No, I've been in games for like a minute. You know what I'm saying? Kid-wise, Nintendo, Sega. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I think I skipped a few systems and went straight to the PS2. But then after that, I've been on the game for a while.
Yeah.
Since PS2 days, for sure.
It's in my blood.
Yeah. Then I missed a few years when the PS4 was out, but these last couple years I've been back on.
Pretty heavy now, yeah.
I'm trying to get back in the rotation.
There's so much more now for everybody, so it's kind of easy to get back in for.
It's hard for me to get back in because it's too much.
Well, yeah, that too. But it just in terms of like, a lot of people only play Fortnite, or a lot of people only play 2K or Madden or Call of Duty, whatever. So it's a lot of those people out there, which is weird to me to only play like one game all the time, but at the same time, it's understandable.
I mean, that's how it was.
It happens. I feel like, you know, just like with like Call of Duty right now, you know, it was like, or even like when we was playing Apex, like, there's plenty of other stuff.
It definitely happens.
You just be like, you know, let them get on Apex.
That show
comfort food.
Yeah,
that's how I have it.
But there is a difference between like something like that and then somebody who was just like only playing 2K, like bought it solely for 2K. And it's like, I'm just, you trying to get on 2K? Like, you got nothing else? You can't play nothing else, man? Like, nah.
Man.
Just 2K only, my dude.
And I just suck at 2K, so that's why I call it out. Don't even try to act like I'm going to get on there and do nothing crazy.
Have definitely went down the drain since Apex came out.
Yeah,
because I got my PlayStation like kind of like just before last year, almost. So like that's when Apex came out, like beginning of the year. So I was pretty much that one guy, that one game guy. But no, ever since but I've been trying to try other stuff. Though, you know what I'm saying? At least widen my variety.
Yeah, because like Marlon said, when Apex came out, that was definitely like what 3 solid months of just like I don't know what that was.
Even like, I mean, and I didn't play nearly as much Fortnite, but at the same time, I did. You know what I'm saying? I played a lot of Fortnite.
And definitely Apex was more enjoyable, I feel like, to where you just think about it in a more positive light or whatever.
Yo, damn, I was playing Apex for 5 months. Wow. That's my life. Okay.
Does it show how many hours you play on Apex? I can't remember.
I don't know.
It might.
I don't know.
Because they do like see that. They do the stats now.
Yeah, like how many matches and stuff, and how many games you played.
Yeah, because I know season 1 they added the stats, but now I'm trying to think if they even have it now. Like season 3.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's on there.
It's more accessible now. Like you can go straight to a person's like stats and see it now.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look then. I'm sure it's over 100 hours. It has to be.
It gotta be on there
for sure. At least if you're in a like 100K matches, which I'm sure you are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's a lot of time.
You think about that. You're like, damn, I didn't play that much. Like, I'm a junkie.
That's I'm definitely scared to look at my stats if that's the case. I'm not trying to face reality. I'm not a junkie.
See, oh shoot. So we're gonna go in a triangular line circle of 10 to 1, I guess. I had some honorable mentions that I knew for sure wasn't going to be in my top 10, but damn near all of them is almost like honorable mention because I'm just like, how the hell do I really choose what was my... I already know what my definite favorite is. I'm sure you already know, but in terms of like 2 to 10, I was just like, man, I really don't know. Like, and damn near, like you said, like Apex. I'm going to put Apex in honorable mention just for the simple fact that, like, it's I don't know. It's just a different kind of game in a way, like to where I could put it like top 5 almost just because of how much I've enjoyed it. But at the same time, I'm like, is it really that kind of game? You know what I'm saying?
It's really like, especially even with like Fortnite, it's really just a social game, really, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like for you to like, because you don't really play it by yourself. I mean, I not have, but I don't very often. I usually like to play if I'm playing with like, you know, squad or something. So I feel like it's just one of those games where you just you just kind of playing it because people playing it. Or, you know what I'm saying? Something that you can play together.
The
with
homies
your friends.
is on there.
Exactly,
for sure.
So it's like kind of you playing the game and you know you strategizing how to try to win, but at the same time you're just kind of talking and just, you know what I'm saying, really hanging out almost.
That's really like the best part about it, because I was playing Call of Duty the other day by myself and I'm like, man, I'm bored. Like, ain't nobody here.
Exactly. It's just kind of part of the game where it's like, I'm gonna be telling you like, hey, watch out, you know, somebody on the left, but I'm also just kind of like, what's up, bro, you know what, just cracking. It's kind of gives you that like vibe, I guess. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Did you have any that you know might not be in your top 10? Or just kind of... Because I definitely didn't bring it up earlier. Like, maybe we should have honorable mention.
Yeah, I feel like GTA should get honorable mention. Yeah, I had it on my list, but
I'm surprised by that.
I didn't feel like it was going to be. I felt like I shouldn't put it in my list. I don't know why. I guess just because maybe I felt like it was just one of those games that you know it's like everybody been playing.
Yeah.
I mean, playing Grand Theft Auto. And almost the same, too, with that social aspect. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't playing it, like, for the story or anything.
Yeah,
most
people don't.
Exactly. I really just kind of got on there, and whenever I was playing it, we was just doing missions together just to be, you know what I'm saying? Doing missions. So I feel like, yeah, that's a top 10. But is it really, though? And when it's more so about hanging out with whoever I'm playing with at the time.
Yeah. So I'm surprised you said that because I know you like playing GTA Online a lot, especially with your uncle and your whoever the hell.
Yeah, sure.
I know you always mention him on there, your dad
my
and
dad
stuff.
be on there too, and that's what and that's really why I said not really, because it's mainly about that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Just that same idea,
chilling,
just kind of playing the game together.
Yeah, I put that in my honorable mentions too, for the simple fact, one, when looking back at the years, I realized that this game has literally been out most of the decade.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
7 years or whatever, the
exactly.
decade.
Yeah.
And it's been relevant the whole time. And even more than that, because people was hype about it for like a year before it came out. So like, you know what I'm saying, 2012 or whatever.
Had a pretty decent build up for sure.
So, you know, that's like the first game from like a casual level, I think, that's done that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like Warcraft and like all those games, but in terms of like GTA, where like this different demographic as this game that's really lasts this long.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just pretty like crazy. Like, did
definitely.
you play online a lot on GTA? Or?
Yeah, I did for a little bit.
Yeah,
I definitely played on that motherfucker. Got some heists in, crime, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I definitely played that shit heavy.
I haven't played the online in like some years now, and I'm just so behind. Like I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is. But at the same time, that's the like beauty of being able to play with your friends, because somebody else, you know what I'm saying, if he was jumping in with us or something, we could, you know what I'm saying, get you some money or something, whatever. Goal, whatever you feel like you needed to do or whatever. But it's just like, yeah, that's part of it, I guess.
Cause I just remember being so hype about it. I've told you this before. Like when they put the first trailers out for the online mode, it was like, dude's in a plane over here, and there's a boat, and there's all these cars, and there's all this shit going on. I was like, man, this looks amazing. And then I played it. I'm like, man, this is not the exact same thing. Like,
because in the commercial, it's like they doing stuff. It's like, yeah, that dude flying. Wonder why you flying that? Just to be flying it.
Yeah,
that's what you realize once you play it. It's like, oh, he's just flying just to do that. Okay, gotcha.
All these random jerks are just shooting me
to
be jerks.
That's what pissed me off when I first got online, man. I was like, where does fucking rocket launcher come from?
Why am I dead?
Yeah.
Like every time.
Yeah, for sure.
What other? I had a couple other honorable mentions. I put Last of Us on there as an honorable mention, and I almost put it in my top 10. But then I was thinking, I was like, from a game standpoint, I don't think I enjoy it as much as I do from just like a atmospherical, like story perspective. And it's almost kind of like, but if it wasn't an adventure game, you know, thriller, it wouldn't have the same effect. But at the same time, like the gameplay of it, I'm like, it's really not that smooth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you played Last of Us? No. So really just kind of looking back at it, you know, it's a linear game, which is fine. But just in terms of the mechanics, and it came out 2013, 2014 or whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, it's older, whatever. But at the same time, like, you know, I really just enjoyed the story and, you know, what happens and everything like that. And that's what really kept me enthralled, especially for the fact that I hate scary stuff a lot of the time. So a lot of that scary shit in the game is really just hard for me to get through. But
that's tight. A storyline. What's the storyline? Because that's what, like, a survival game?
Yeah, it's because you can do like because I just played on regular. I'm like, I'm not about to do like the extra like I got one bullet forever type thing, but you can do like harder difficulties where you get like less ammunition and all this different kind of stuff, whatever. Like,
so it's about the same.
Get killed in like one hit type shit.
Because I played a game similar. It was called 7 Days to Die. 7 Days to Die, but there was no storyline. It was just survival mode. That's it. They start you off with nothing, and then you got to go around and collect everything and build. You know what I'm saying? Weapons and forge bullets and all that type of stuff.
Is it only fighting against like the computer? Or is it
pretty much just computers and stuff like that? And, it's pretty much zombies. But other than that,
yeah. I've heard of that, but I never really knew what it was. The name kind of explains it, I guess, but I never even messed with it. I think I really have like two more honorable mentions. One is Mass Effect 2, because that's a game that's just like a really good video game. That's really all I have to say about it. Like, Mass Effect was just really good. But 2, I think, was just kind of like, I think at that time it was like 2011, 2012-ish, I think, when I played it. And it's just really good. Like, I don't really have anything else to say about it. Yeah. I kind of wish they had kind of put that back on the, like, remasters or something. I don't know why they haven't. And, the hell was I about to say? Red Dead 2. I think I'm going to have to just put in the, honorable mentions as well. For the simple reason that kind of like the Last of Us thing where the gameplay isn't as fun as the like story is to me. Yeah. And like we talked a lot about how you end up having like churning milk and butter and shit.
That shit got to be boring after a while.
Yeah, it's just like deliberate.
Snooze fest.
Snooze face.
It was that too.
But because like the stuff in that game Red Dead 2 where Rockstar is just kind of like, we can make you do anything we want. Like, you're gonna build a house right now. It's just like, all right, man, you could have just did this in a cutscene.
Milk this cow, and I want to see every last drop in that bucket too, man. And don't stop till you fill up the bucket.
But I would say that Red Dead 2 is probably like my favorite story though. Yeah. From a game, like top whatever, especially in this decade, to where once again I was just like, man, I really want to see where this is headed. And it was at a point where trying to avoid spoilers and all that kind of stuff, which it wasn't too bad, but it was kind of like, damn, man, I think I did get spoiled at some point, and I was like, oh, fuck. But I was like too far in where I wasn't gonna stop or whatever. But yeah, it was pretty good though, man. And like you were saying earlier, that really was just 2018. Like, that was a year ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
For sure. That was like a 60-hour game or whatever.
It was a long-ass time, boy.
Did you ever go back and play the online on there? No,
I ain't touching that shit. I just got that chill for a long time until it's actually been a long time. Yeah. Right now, it's a fake long time, man.
Because I haven't... I don't think I might have just turned it on once, maybe, if that. But I don't even know what the community's like on there. It's definitely not like GTA.
I don't even know what talking about on that mug, man. I played it that one time when it was like beta stage. Yeah. That was the last time. First and last.
Yeah, I just can't.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I'm cool.
Yeah, I'll pass on that action.
Oh, shoot. And on that note, I think we can move into this. Unless you have some extra to put in the mentions.
Nah, I don't think so.
Well, damn it, man. Well, Mr. Maurice Cheeks, I'm going to keep calling you that because it's just for some reason funny.
Maurice, where does that come from?
He's a basketball player, so I just always think about that. What do you know? He played in the 80s and stuff on the Sixers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just know random shit, I guess. He's a coach for like a couple teams. Anyway.
Look into that.
I'll take my joke back.
I'll take that name if it's like that. That's cool. That's a cool little reference. I could be a coach.
Just make sure you talking loud enough.
Okay, gotcha. So starting at 10. Guess my 10 would be Overcooked.
Overcooked.
Yeah, because
number 1 or number 2 or all together.
Probably just all together.
It's all the same, really.
All the same. Because that was like my first party game I've ever played like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then like
That's interesting.
Went and got out like new controllers and stuff like.
Man, you was hype.
Yeah, we was hype. We was like, this is tight. Yeah. Go around here and chop it up real quick. Yeah, it was tight. We definitely enjoyed ourselves. So that was probably mine.
Yeah, I played the first one with my wife. Probably like the first, I don't know, however many worlds. But it got to the point where it got too hard for her. Because you get to like the ice levels and shit. She was like, I keep fucking slipping up.
Exactly, yo.
And well, me and Marlon played on the, for YouTube, whatever, on Overcooked 2. And I was like, man, damn, this was harder. But I remember, man, they threw some new elements on that.
It was tough, boy.
See, I haven't played 2 because I think the first one was free for like one of the PlayStation Plus months.
I think it might have been.
Yeah, that's the reason I got it. That's how I got it. But I got it and it was great. I enjoyed myself.
I should go back because you saying that free games, because Rocket League I put in a mention too. Okay. I didn't play a whole lot of it, but that was a game that blew up because it was free on PlayStation like a couple years ago. And I was like, man, this is tight.
Yeah, I seen that.
And then I saw how good people are at the game, like esports and shit. I'm like, damn, man, I suck. But Rocket League is really fun, though. I've never played it with another person like that I know, but I've only like just playing online or whatever. But yeah, Rocket League is pretty tight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, what you got? Number 10.
I put World War II, Call of Duty World War II. That was my number 10, I guess, or that's my first one. Because
I can see that, Mr. Shooter Man.
Yeah, I had a really good time playing that game. It was really fun, and I mean, a lot of that was also social. But I was playing Call of Duty World War II by myself.
I don't need anybody for fun.
By myself, and was having a good time. So that's what I put for number 10. Because that one was really fun to me. I don't know why.
Say that's that.
Like what about it? I
just
like
old school shit.
Yeah, just like the story. I mean, not like the story, but
just
the
like atmosphere of the world they built.
That like World War II style history shoot 'em ups,
old school guns and shit.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That. Everybody ain't all souped up,
jumping around, jetpacks.
Because was it Advanced Warfare right before that one, or was it? Because I can't fucking remember. Or was it?
You might be right.
I can't remember because that was last year, right? Or no, Black Ops 4 is last year. World War II is before, so it was Advanced Warfare, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't. It's too many, but yeah, because you definitely was playing that mug a lot. Because I remember getting it like a little after you did, and I was like, I like it, but I wasn't like enthralled in that one for whatever reason. I don't mind the like older guns and stuff or whatever, but I really don't remember too much about it besides that's when they had like the base camp and stuff, all that, and like loot box type thing.
Yep, for sure. And that's the reason why I'm like, okay, yeah, but I gotta put this on the list because I was playing it and I was doing all that stuff. I was like unlocking the stuff and doing all the little missions and all that shit. So I'm like, yeah, Call of Duty. But it wasn't like, it was just so, I don't know, it was just fun. I was just having a good time, so that's why I'm like, sorry, yeah, it can go on the list.
That's all that counts.
I can see that. Y'all making me go all fast and stuff. The first one I'm gonna put for my number 10, and I probably regret it now putting number 10. I probably should have switched it with something else. But I'm gonna say Skyrim. For the simple fact that I think that was like the first game of the decade where I remember being like super hyped about in terms of just like, man, I was looking at every trailer, like whatever the hell they said about it, like, and I remember like thinking the graphics for Skyrim was just like so tight. I'm like, man, the lighting on here is just crazy, man. This is gonna be the best game ever. Da da da. And which like, and I played it a lot. Over time, I kind of got like a little tired of it for whatever reason. Like people like would down the hill for Skyrim, whatever. And it's really good. And a lot of the reason is like PC gamers get modded and you can turn a spider into Macho Man Randy Savage or something. You know, like random shit like that, which makes the game just totally different. But that was like definitely, you know, open worlds have been out before then. Mm-hmm. But that was like, I feel like that was one of the open worlds. I was like, man, I can really do whatever I want in this fantasy land. Sure. And
makes sense.
And they had like the whole campaign for like, because it came out 11/11/11, whatever. So it was like a big deal and stuff like that. So it was just like, man, this is so tight. I think I got it on PS3. I mean, did I get on 3? I think I got on PS3, but because I was like, I'm gonna get all my single player stuff on there or whatever. But yeah, Skyrim was just like super crazy, and that's another game too where it's lasted for like the whole decade for a lot of people and stuff like that. Yeah, and I've bought it on the computer too because it was like Steam sales and stuff like that, like super cheap and everything. It definitely is just like, man, this game is pretty. It was at that time for me. I was like, man, this is like it, like this open world.
I feel that I never really messed with Skyrim or none of that. None of them like that's like Elder Scrolls and stuff, right? Yeah. I never played none of that before. Not even once. I don't think. I watched somebody play it. I don't like sit back and see like the creation of a player and shit, but that's about it. Yeah, I never even really dabbled.
And a lot of good memes came out of that. It was like an early meme game, like the arrow to the knee joke, and now a lot of people still do the like in the beginning part of the game, you like get out of jail or what? No,
in that train. I mean, like it's like a little cart.
Yeah, in the cart.
I know what you're talking about.
It's something like that. I feel like in Oblivion you was in jail too, but anyway, yeah, you're on that cart like you just woke up or whatever type shit.
Like, what's up, cuz? Yeah, man, we go into the spot. You ain't know what time it is, and they got us, man.
Skyrim was pretty crazy for the early part of the decade for sure, and we still waiting on to see when the next one will come out. And they got the online Elder Scrolls, but I was like, I'm cool on this. I don't like it. I don't like that style of game as much now. Yeah. Even with like Outer Worlds that just came out as like similar, but even then I'm like, yeah, it's not. I don't know. Something about it. It's a little dated in its mechanics.
Yeah, I feel you.
But what you got for your next one there, Mo?
My next one.
Oh, do you know, bro?
Right. No, I put down probably Division 2.
Division 2.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. That was probably my first, like, kind of open world type game, just running around like that and doing missions and stuff. Yeah. Because I think you put me on that. You talking about getting it, and he was like, everybody get it.
Yeah, I did a real big psych on that one, I think. Yeah. Because by the time everybody got it, I was pretty much done playing.
Exactly. I was just thinking about that because I was looking at my media bar on my PlayStation, and I got like stuff in folders. Yeah. And I seen Division 2, and I'm like, damn. I played this motherfucker 4 hours.
That's like 2 times.
We was really talking cash.
And I played it. I mean, I was playing it during that time, but I had to wait for everybody was like, all right, I'm going to get it on the next time. So I'm still playing in the meantime, and then by the time they're like, all right, I counted, picked it up. I was like, I'm pretty much done.
Yeah,
he gave me much through on that one, actually.
That's hilarious. Yeah, he gave me a couple rounds in them. I got to do a couple missions together with a bunch of people. Yeah, but and I played on my own too, so that's what was kind of fun about it. I got to kind of break down the guns and how to level up and stuff like that. But that shit definitely was fun. It made me open up my gaming world to more open world
palette.
Yeah, to more open stuff like that. So that was fun.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. I was just going to go on ahead and say, because of going into my next one, basically, that's kind of pretty much how I felt about Division 1. Yeah. And I say that was probably my next one on the list, because I played Division 1 real heavy. We was playing that a lot.
Yeah, because that was, like 2-3 years ago now? Something like that. Yeah.
I really kind of had it as a honorable mention, but... Since he said that, I'll go ahead then, I guess.
Yeah, because Division 1, I definitely played that one more. And Division 2, like, I can't even really tell you really the difference between the games, like, just from, like, a face value perspective. I know, like, I mean, definitely, like, the gear and stuff is a little more souped up in 2, but something about it, I was like, man, it's something about that world that didn't engage me enough.
The first one?
Or the second one.
Oh,
I mean, even the first one, though, because I remember the biggest complaint for me was like, okay, I understand, like, we're in this disease world or whatever, but, like, I have to walk everywhere, and then it's like, but you miss stuff if you fast travel. Like, I don't know. It's just, like, the way you traverse the world is kind of lame to me, but at the same time, like, the mechanics in, like, shooting and, like, using the gadgets and everything is really cool. But it's just, it doesn't, like, and it's not like it's an alive world because of the setting, but I feel like I want, like, and I don't even want it to be, like, crazy, like, jumping around tomfoolery all the time, but it's just something about it just leaves, like, a, ho-hum. Like,
it's just kind of empty. It's kind of like nothing really. And in the first one, it was nighttime all the time. Pretty much, there was no sunlight really. For the most part.
And that's why I was hype on 2, because I was like, man, this one's a little more in the brighter areas. Seemed like it's gonna be a little more greenery. But then I was just like, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it to the greenery. Like, there was a couple missions, because if you play it with people that are higher level than you, then you end up doing, like, higher level stuff, and your gear ain't good enough, and you just, like, shooting a bullet sponge. So it's a little bit of that, which isn't optimal gameplay. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of dumb doing that. But at the same time, it's like, man, that kind of made me mad when I did it one time. So I'll just admit to that.
Nah, that happened hella times, because I got in a bunch of missions with him, and you know what I'm saying, he was definitely way higher level than me. Yeah. So that's kind of how that started off.
And then when people, like, you see online, because I talk about getting on Reddit, people online being like, yeah, I got my gear to level such and such, and I did this and this. I'm like, man, I don't even feel like doing all this. Like, all this maximizing stats on this. I don't want to do it in another game, especially when I'm not enjoying enough.
Yeah, right. I feel that.
Makes sense.
So that was your number 9-ish.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was just conversation.
Did you have a different one?
Nah, that's cool. We can move on.
No, we ain't gotta move on. Making sure. That was, like you said, it was an HM.
No, because I don't know yet for sure. I mean, yeah, let's just keep going.
What's a list anyway?
Just keep going.
As I just really put mine in order as we was going. My number 9, like I said, it probably all changed. But Monster Hunter World, which I've talked a good deal about over the last year or so, especially with Iceborne coming out. And I was basing a lot of this also on, like, hours I've spent in a game, which is also goes in, like, the Division conversation, where I was like, 5 hours in this. Like, Monster Hunter, I think I'm at, like, 200 some hours. And some of that is just, like, sitting around, but either way, it's a lot of damn hours. Yeah. But Monster Hunter is just, like, a lot of people hadn't played it over the years, because it was, like, a niche type game. And it's similar to Division, though, where you kind of go into this. It's not as open. Monster Hunter World is more open, but it's co-op missions, and the basic thing is, like, going into, like, killing a monster with your friends or just by yourself or whatever. So it's kind of the same thing in a lot of ways. But and even in terms of, like, putting gear together and stats and shit like that. But 1, I like monsters, I guess, and 2, like, having a big ass sword or, like, axe is pretty cool, like whacking a big T-Rex looking thing in the head. But Monster Hunter World put the Monster Hunter games into a more, like, casual perspective, especially for, like, the Western audience, because a lot of Japanese people play it, like, pretty seriously, especially on, like, the PSP and, like, 3DS and stuff like that. Yeah, it's been out since, like, PS2 though, but but it definitely, Monster Hunter World made it a little easier for people to get acclimated into the game, because before it'd be like, you gotta go hunt for this monster, and it's like, you gotta find it, and then if it runs away, you gotta find it again, and you had to use like certain items to keep track of stuff, and like it'd be like you gotta find this herb over in this world, but they don't tell you what it looks like or anything, and it doesn't even tell you when you're like standing over it. But like World made a lot of stuff like way more accessible and just like going through the motions and stuff like that. And Marlon tried it out for a little bit. Sure. I think Marlon said F this, but
it was just all the games that had came out at the end of the year basically that I was playing at the same time or trying to play. Getting on the PlayStation, I just usually end up playing with y'all or something, or you know what I'm saying, running some team game or something. So it just kind of end up falling in the wayside just because, you know, that's just what I be playing mostly.
But Monster Hunter World specifically it's just really fun. Especially it's another thing where when I play alone it's fun, but definitely playing with other people makes it a lot better. And just like the conversation and like wow moments and just like crazy shit you can do. But like I said, it's a really good time. If you're able to like ever get it like on a deal or something like that, I think it's worth like testing out. It's definitely it definitely has a learning curve to it, and it's not like for everybody.
Right.
But I feel like if you're gonna try Monster Hunter, then World is the time to do it. Okay. It's definitely like you got to figure out, you know, just kind of how you want to fit into that world, I guess.
Yeah, that's dope.
But yeah, that's my number 9, Monster Hunter World.
Hot 80. Of the list.
Mr. Mo, number 8.
Number 8 would be the honorable mention of Grand GTA.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, we don't hear that shit. Nah, keep going.
But I could also put in slash of that 8 would be Let It Die.
It's another game I've heard of, but I have not.
Yeah, because that was like when I first got my system, and I was just like on the free game things. And that was one of the free games that was on there. And Let It Die was cool, real basic controls. They kind of give you this random player. You start off on this train. You literally in your underwear, nothing else.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, but like you like pick up clothing as armor. So like you can put a cone on your head, pick up a shirt and some pants type shit. Is
this like a traditional like survival thing, or like what's like the goal in this?
The goal is you go up, you in this death tower, and you got and nobody's ever made it to the top. So that's
sounds super anime.
Pretty much that's the goal. So you just go through every level, beat up like random monsters and stuff like that. But each floor you go to, it's like more difficult. And I like going to each floor because it's like escalators and they got elevator music playing and shit. Funny. But
who made that game?
I have no idea.
I'd have to look at that. Because I definitely heard of that, but I definitely did not know exactly what that was.
Yeah, and it's real basic controls too, like punch, grab.
Oh, I do remember seeing this before.
You got like a super move you could do. Other than that, it was fun. I liked it.
I feel like I played this like at some point, but I could just be thinking of something else.
You might have. Cause I'm pretty sure Let It Die was like one of the first free games that was out for the PlayStation 4, I think.
Huh. Yeah, and that might have been what it is. I'd have to look at my stuff. I swear I played this, or maybe I just saw somebody else play it before.
Right.
That's interesting, though. So a lot of survival stuff out there. It's definitely in the niche category for sure. I feel like survival games.
Yeah.
Like at this point, it's a little less popular as it once was. Battle Royale kind of took that spot.
I don't even know when that game came out. I just know it was free.
2016.
Yeah, December 3rd, really? 2016. Yeah. Yep. Interesting. Yeah, I definitely have seen that at some point. So this goofy skeleton dude.
So we'll take out 8 for that. Let It Die be my 8.
No, that's fair. What you got, Marlon?
I have Watch Dogs 1 as my number 8.
Watch Dogs 1. I like to hear about this one.
I really like that game. I mean, I like Watch Dogs, the whole franchise, obviously. I mean, well, because we talked about it before, like how much I like Watch Dogs and stuff. But it was just really fun, and I just like that you can just kind of hack anything and do that. Like that to me at that time was like, damn, this is so tight. you really get to just, you know, somebody's driving down the street and you can just pull up the little bars in the street and mess up their car. They're going to crash or whatever.
Man.
And the missions was cool. It was just a fun. That was also a game that I had a really good time playing.
Yeah. What was I about to say for that? Watch Dogs 1 was like, I think that was like one of the first like next gen games they like was getting revealed, and everybody like, man, is this what next gen's gonna be like? This is crazy, man. And blah 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 blah. And then I was kind of, I played it for a little bit, but that was kind of like another thing with how I felt about like Division, where the world kind of after a while I was like, this is kind of dry.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't think I was getting what I wanted out of it. Yeah, because it was definitely like a lot of hype for that game, and I played it for a minute, and then I was just like, I'm done. It was one of those where I was just like, I don't even want to finish it. Like, and I played. And I don't know if y'all have Watch Dogs 2 or not, but Watch Dogs 2 I played for like a little bit, and I was like, man, I don't. And but even having the black dude and like the like hacking tech and stuff, whatever, I was like, man, I don't even care. Like, whatever.
Right.
That what was y'all number 8? I forgot.
Yep, Watch Dogs was my 8.
All right, number 8. My number 8 is Spider-Man, or Marvel Spider-Man, PS4, however you want to name it. Because this game made me remember I like video games.
Hell yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and I had that on my like just made up list, but you was gonna have that on your list, so I knew we was gonna discuss it anyway.
I've yet to play that. I've been still wanting to
play
play
that. Especially
it's
now,
really
it's super
fun.
cheap.
Yeah. And I just recently finished that DLC, the Black Cat DLC, and it was pretty fun. I mean, obviously the game was fun anyway, so it was just more of the game, a different little story, but it was a good little time.
Yeah, because it's just like, it's been a lot of Spider-Man games over the however freaking long games have been out. And I've only played a few of them. A lot of people talk about like the old movie games, like Spider-Man 2 or whatever. And there's a couple other ones from like the late 2000s, early 2010s. People kind of be like, this was cool. But I just was like, something about it, I was like, I don't even want to fool with it. For whatever reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just because, like, you know them like games are just like mid-tier and like they may be fun. It's like, do I really want to spend this money on this? I don't know.
Yeah,
right.
But I guess a lot of people fell into the hype for Spider-Man. It definitely delivered, and that was 2018 too. And it was like, it wasn't a perfect game. I mean, it was like a typical open world, but just in terms of like gameplay and the way swinging around as Spider-Man and the fighting and if you like the Arkham games, it's similar to that.
Okay.
But
I definitely fucks with Arkham.
It almost to me, because I like Spider-Man the best at it, like all heroes, so it kind of just helped out a lot. But they really put a lot of detail and love into like fighting as Spider-Man and creating a new story that until really, I mean, matching up to like the latest couple movies, like one of the better like stories not in the comic books, I'd say.
Also, it's going off the movie type stuff.
Well, no, it's like, I mean, it's an original story. What I'm just saying is that in terms of like where like other like things that have had Spider-Man, that's like this story was like really, even though it was like, you know, the way that it's set up is like, okay, I see where this is headed, but it's still like, damn, this mug is tight. Like, you know, they really put a little nice spin to the characters and everything.
That's what's up. That's tight.
And it was like, and a lot of people just reading online, and my like first platinum on PlayStation, my only one. Because it's not hard to get, but it's definitely just like an achievable one that made sense for people. So that helped a lot of people too. Yeah, Spider-Man was pretty dope.
Spider-Man was a good one.
Before you start, Mo, I want to shout out my boy Justin Bland, because he did call out Watch Dogs as being one of his favorites, and Red Dead 1.
Yeah.
Then my guy Chris Shields, he put 2K11 on there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, 2K11 I think was like, well, 2K9 and 10 kind of bubbled it, but 2K11 and then even 12 when Jordan was on the covers and everybody was like, oh, 2K the best.
Yeah, for sure.
That's when that hype really like
I had that on the list.
That's on
That wasn't the one that I spent the most time with. I mean, or whatever. But yeah, that was definitely a good one.
That was definitely on my top list. Like, which one? I think it was 2K13 where it had Kevin Durant on the front.
Yeah, that
like
was
two other
Blake
people.
and Steph. Yeah.
Yeah.
They ain't know who they wanted to put. They was like, F it, just put them on there.
I put heavy gameplay.
Because was it 2K12 when they had Bird and Magic, like the separate covers and stuff?
Yeah. That's when they started doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. That was the first time, and then the next time, because it was it Steph? No, it was. Is that D Rose? Yeah, I think that was D Rose on 13.
Was it
13?
No, that one was Steph
Kevin
on that
Durant.
rug. Steph must have been.
Oh, it was
Blake
Kevin
Griffin.
Durant.
That was the 3 for that.
Oh,
D Rose, Blake Griffin, and Kevin Durant for 13.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
D Rose was
He
killing
was
him.
hooping at that time. That was before the knee.
And I had mentioned the Arkham games. Chris had mentioned those two. Have you played any of the Arkham Batmans at all? No, I mentioned them.
I played, once again, PS gave away a free one.
Hey, that's how you do it.
And I played that one. That one was really fun because that one had like the Batmobile one on there.
City that was free, maybe.
I think so. I think it was Arkham Dark
City.
Yeah. That one was really fun. I got through that one. I enjoyed the fighting and the combo moves and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I like City a lot. Am I putting? Yeah, because Night was the last one. Yeah, Arkham Knight was the last. I like City a lot, and I liked Asylum a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the last one, I was just kind of like, all right, all right, Batman,
got the message.
All right, bro. And he also was he also called out Black Ops 2, which that's a lot of people's favorite Call of Duty from the decade, which I don't disagree with.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't disagree with
Put
that.
a lot of time in that too.
Yeah.
So it's my turn. My number 7, right?
Or is it my 7? Is it your 7? My 7.
I thought you just went.
I did? Wow.
No,
he's going.
Right.
He's going.
Because you was like, hold up, let me get this shout out real quick.
Yeah, okay. We're back. My 7 is going to be
just like that.
Brawlhalla.
Brawlhalla.
That is my 7.
Yeah.
Because
not Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers is always up there. But Brawlhalla was definitely...
I'm just being a jerk.
Yeah. No, Brawlhalla was definitely a good remix for me, though. I fucked with it pretty heavy. And then that's when my nephew Lamont, or Spaceman, was on there. We was playing it pretty heavy. Late night hours and shit on Brawlhalla. Doing that tag team shit.
I'm just playing online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can do online. You do tag team, partner fighting, or do free for all. We was doing all that shit. But I had a good time with Brawlhalla.
It's another game that I downloaded because it's free or whatever, and then I just never turned it on.
I didn't play that mug at all.
I was just kind of like, and then
I'm the only one that play free games
because I think they put Finn and Jake on there from Adventure Time, and I was like, man, but it's still not enough for me to do it.
Steven on there too.
That's what they got
Did
right now.
they?
Yeah, Universe and them on there too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that wasn't enough because games like that, it's like I know that it's not supposed to be Smash, but I know it's like, all right, we got one too. We can play where you can do that same kind of idea, and it's like, oh dang, if you would have just said it was something totally different. Right. The only thing I probably could have messed with you, but since it's like, oh yeah, we kind of like, maybe you like Smash, play this, mother, dang. So I never really got into that either.
And I did not want to skip the other mentions from, I guess it's AKA the Mountain on Instagram. I want to say Aka because that sounds funny, but he shouted out Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and also Red Dead Redemption. And Fallout New Vegas I would put ahead of Fallout 3, but that's definitely... I think Fallout 3 came out 2009, but I mean, I think it was like a lot of people played it later anyways. That kind of falls into the decade, but New Vegas was in the decade for sure. And then Red Dead we talked about, obviously, but yeah, I played those a good deal too. Red Dead fell into the I was just kind of done with it category. But keep going, Mr. Marlon.
It's my turn now?
Yep.
What was I even saying? I don't remember.
Your number was, we on 7, right?
Okay, yeah, number 7 for me, I put Cuphead. I went ahead and threw Cupheader.
And although
I haven't like completely finished it, And that's just mostly because it's difficult.
What are you, a noob?
It's hard, but I really like that game. I really like the art style of it. It's like that, like 50s, like bop bop doo wop style. I really like that. It's fun. It's just fun little running gun there.
A little Richard in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Piano riff, woo and shit. So,
shoot.
Yeah, that's why I put that at number 7 because I really like that game, and I've been playing more lately. Still in the same areas because, as I said previously, it's not the easiest game. So
yeah, I'd be curious to see how many people have beat it. If there has to be a stat they have at wherever they are. But because I got to like the middle of World 2 and I was like, man, I just can't keep making myself upset. It's like I know this is beatable because people do it, but I'm obviously not good enough.
It's hard, man. It's hard,
no, I put Cuphead on like my throwing up names list, and I was like, man, I like that game a lot for the art style and like just what they did with the animations and
it's really
everything.
Cool.
I was like, man, I can't put it in my top 10 because I just for that reason, I'd be lying to myself. I love
that game, even though you got to put it down. Sometimes you do got to put that shit down, but I really like that game a lot.
That's fair. That's very fair.
And I was super hyped when they announced it for the Switch because I had always wanted to play it.
Yeah.
Because, we had talked about it before, and you was like telling me about it on the Xbox and stuff, but until they ported it on the Switch, I didn't ever really have a chance. And I was just really excited when they said, like, it was like, hey, we about to Cuphead, boss. So that was super hype for me.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Makes a big difference. My number 7, and we've talked about this game a whole lot, so I'll just be regurgitating stuff, is Hollow Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Because that game is awesome.
I had that for 5.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I thought about putting it higher, and I was like, man, should I put it higher? I was like,
it don't even matter what's it's such a fun game.
Man,
it's so tight.
The value you get out of that game. I think it's on sale right now for like $7. So it's like the prime time to get it, because you're going to get 5 to 10 times the amount of value hours out of it.
Dang.
But just in terms of like, talk about like Cuphead with art style. And it's not like a new style of game because it's based like in a Metroid, like Castlevania type gameplay of like backtracking, like adventure and like finding different equipment to beat the next thing and having different like random boss fights and different goals and side quests and shit like that. But it's just like, it's definitely a game of just enthralling me and like really making me invested in like what was going on.
Hell yeah.
Because it's another situation where the story isn't really like self-apparent. Like they kind of tell you a little bit, and you're just like a random little bug dude or whatever the hell fighting these other bugs and shit. And there's like sewers and dirt mounds, like just random stuff. It's just really fun, man. Like
that sounds fun.
And it's a game where it gets difficult at certain points.
Yeah.
And like they have like different challenges that are pretty hard to get through and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just really fun, man. Like I thought about trying to do a new game on it the other day, and I was like, nah, man, I can't. I got other stuff I gotta do.
You said it's like $7 right now?
I think so. If it's not 7, it's no more. It's like $15 or whatever regular price. It's worth it, man.
It's all over the place now because like when he was first playing it, which it came out on PC first. And then I didn't get to it until it came out on the Switch. Yeah,
which is a lot of reason people figured out about it because that was like. Because it came as another one came on Switch last year. And it was early last year, I think. Yeah. And that was like where it sold a lot of units on there. So you definitely should try it out. Because it's on PlayStation, Xbox, and everywhere. So it's tight, man. It's not hard to like understand gameplay wise. And like I said, it's just really good. Yeah, sure. It's definitely something like different to play. Especially if you've never played like Metroids and like Castlevanias and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely haven't. So that'd be good.
Yeah, Hollow Knight is really nice. In some ways, it could be my number 1 because of how much we've talked about it. Oh, man. I think we're on number 6 now, sir.
Yes, sir. Number 6, I'm going to have to put down Warface.
Warface.
Warface was my number 6.
I always get that confused with Warframe, just because it's kind of the same.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. But no, Warface was good. It's literally like a smaller version of Call of Duty, because the maps are smaller.
Huh.
But they had a lot of co-op missions on there. You could do operations stuff that Call of Duty got now.
What kind of style like a shooting is it? Is it like fast paced shooting or is it?
It's definitely fast paced shooting because, like I said, the maps are a little smaller.
Yeah,
so you definitely
which makes sense.
Yeah, you in a lot more action, and I really like they got a ranked mode on there, which is plant the bomb, and you do like 6 rounds. So pretty much search and destroy type stuff. And what I liked about it was the rank levels. Like if you win 3 games, you can only lose 2 games or you go back a rank. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start at like rank 21, you gotta go all the way up to like number 1.
Oh, wow.
And at that point, you playing like people who play in clans, who play like games every single day. Type of shit. So that's what I liked about it.
Did you have like a group of people you were playing with on there, or is it just kind of you on there?
I'm a free agent. I don't have a clan.
Yeah.
But nah, I definitely have
if anybody knows.
Yeah, if anybody needs one, I'm here. But I definitely have some people I was running with, and they played it heavy, so it's like it was always a good game every time.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I definitely get that confused with Warframe a lot just from the name or whatever. I didn't know what the hell it was. I mean, war kind of tells you kind of what can happen, but
it was also a free game. I try to put a lot of people on it because I definitely want to play with it with a lot of people.
Yeah. Huh.
The only hard part about it was
I like the environments on there.
You can't play online until you level up. So it's like you can play like all the operation missions with people online.
They say you gotta get good first.
Yeah, but to do like the team death matches and the rank stuff, you had to get like from rank to like rank 12.
Which there's some games I played that do that where they kind of gate it off. Like, don't be getting in this too early, little chump.
Exactly.
Toasted out here.
Yeah, that's pretty much how they did it.
No, I like that. You got some stuff on here I definitely have never messed with. I like that.
Sweet.
Back
Spreading
to you,
the
Holloway.
information. Because knowledge is power. What we on 6 now?
Yes, we are.
I had Gears 3 on there for 6.
Gears 3.
Yeah, I had Gears 3. I played a lot of Gears 3.
Damn, that was
a fun ass time playing Gears.
What was Gears 3? 2011?
Yeah,
2012?
I think so.
I didn't even have an Xbox, but I made sure I was on somebody's controller.
I got
playing Gears. That was my shit.
A poster. I had a big ass Gears 3 poster that I had won that year from like a GameStop tournament and shit. And it was just like Gears 3 was just, it was so much hype around Gears 3 because it had been like a year or 2 or something like in between the time, you know what I'm saying? And me and Spaceman Leezy played a lot of Gears 3.
Yeah, that was definitely like, because I played 1 through 3 like you were just saying, pretty heavy. Except because 2 was like, the online was like jacked up when it came out. I don't know if y'all remember that.
No, that online was kind of
But Gears 3, I remember going to the midnight for that too on Michigan Road, whatever, and I was like, man, this boy gonna be tight. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I dare like in some ways, even though Gears 5 just came out this year, I sometimes forget about Gears just because I haven't fooled with it in so long, and just because a lot of people are just like, it's the same things, whatever, But yeah, Gears 3 is definitely tight, man.
Gears 3, boy, it was slapping at that time. And there was a whole bunch of music that was coming out at that time that was like connected with that whole like era.
Nostalgia.
Yeah. So I had to put Gears on there.
Hey, that's crazy. Yeah.
It probably honestly could be higher if I was like ranking it, I guess, and like what was my favorite, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Gears 3 was crazy.
Man, like that was like definitely in the early stages of like online multiplayer really getting into like the peak of like 360, like people talking shit all the time. And I didn't play Gears with a lot of people, which is goofy, which might be a reason why I didn't stay on as long as I probably could have. But Gears 3 was pretty smooth, man. And even when like the first Gears came out, it was like different enough from like other shooters that I had played where I was like, man, this is like something pretty crazy. And that was like when cover based shooting got kind of popular and all that kind of thing, whatever. And these Oh, it's like just like weird. These like big football playing looking dudes,
Yeah,
huffing around and stuff.
In between that, cause like, and the locust was huge too. Like the enemies that you fought, everybody was just big as fuck, like
ass bugs,
big ass linebackers and stuff, just for no reason. Cause I guess that was the world that they lived in. Like you had to be buff, man. We fighting 6 foot locusts, man. You know exactly.
Pull your weight,
man. These locusts is like Shaq out here, man. You gotta be careful.
And was Gears 3 when they added Horde mode? I think.
I thought that was always on Gears.
I don't think so. And if it wasn't, it was like when they kind of made it like a big thing. But I feel like that was like a big selling point on Gears 3. It was like, it's Horde mode. Y'all ain't never played nothing like this before. You can beat the monsters. Like type shit. But yeah, that was pretty. Yeah, Gears 3 was pretty lit, man. Yeah, it's a good shout out on there. I definitely didn't think of Gears on there for whatever reason. That's definitely a good one.
That mug's classic.
Damn, what number was we on? 6?
Yeah.
My number 6, I'm gonna say Bloodborne, for the simple fact that it's an awesome game, and if you haven't played it, you should play it.
I've only played a little bit of it. Just a little bit. I had a cousin that had that shit. He was always on it. Because I had a cousin that he played all the adventures.
Yeah.
But I played a little bit of it.
Like with Bloodborne, because it came out after Demon Souls, and then Dark Souls 1 and 2. And I think, Dark Souls 3 came after Bloodborne. Whatever. Point of what I'm saying is that Bloodborne is like, I feel like I'm in the majority where it's a lot of people's favorite of like the Souls-born games, whatever you want to call it. Just for like one, because it's a little more fast paced than like Dark Souls, and it's less. It's still difficult as hell, but it's something about it. Just the gameplay is a lot more smooth, and even though it's a lot of scary shit going on, it's not like scary enough where I'm like wussing out.
What's around this corner?
But Bloodborne is just like a really good game in terms of just mechanics and like the world and like level design. And just like the going through different areas and being like, you're in like this weird rustic street, and then now you're in this weird like grassy area and there's a demon on top of your head. Like it's just so crazy, like the way that they construct those worlds and stuff like that. And it's one of the games where I put down for a while because I was just like stuck on this boss. And I think I told you about it, Marlon, where I was just like literally like damn near a year where I was just like, man, I cannot beat this. And I, play other games and stuff over time. Then I was like, no, I got to get back to this. And I finally like figured it out. And then I still haven't technically beat it, whatever, because I'm on like the last boss. But I was just like, man, it's just a really good game. Yeah. It's definitely in like like I said, recommend for anybody to try it out. It's on like the PlayStation greatest hits now, so it's always like $20 or on sale. Right. But Bloodborne is really good, man. And I talked earlier about how like Division or like Watch Dogs kind of just have like those weird, like it's all dark and it's like whatever and it's ho hum, like there's not really much going on. But like Bloodborne is dark and disturbing and all this stuff, but it's like in a good way where it's like I feel like, oh man, like this is like an actual like shit going on in this world, even though it is so dank and desolate and stuff like that. So man, Bloodborne number 6. Number 5, Mr. Mo.
I have a weird 5.
A weird 5.
It's a slash.
A slash. What?
The first part of that slash is World War Z. That was pretty fun because I like zombie stuff. Okay. And that's when because that's just like, it was kind of just like the movie where the zombies were just piling on top of each other and shit. You just gotta spray them all down. So it was just a fun shooter game, just to shoot bullets. You know what I'm saying? You just shoot. And then you always ran with like a squad. So it was like, that's what made it fun too. Just like going from like city to city, trying to get rid of zombies and shit. And then the other half of that slash would be back in the day be Blitz football. That was my
So
shit.
I thought it was gonna be like a similar,
No similar.
like
That's why
game
I called it weird. No similar. No similar. I couldn't pick which one.
It's gonna be like, I thought it was gonna be like two zombie games / World War Z Blitz.
Different planet axes right there. Nah, that shit way off. Nah, Blitz was my shit. I always just love how motherfucking crush bones.
Which I guess is zombie like.
It's zombie like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to see the, you know what I'm saying, like zoomed in the like thermal image and shit. You got to see what you broke and shit on the motherfucker. It was great. It was a great game.
I ain't played Blitz since.
Me and the buddies had a great time with that. You know what I'm saying?
I played it a few times, the last couple of times that I went to Tappers.
Man.
They got an arcade of it or whatever. But it's like an old one, though.
Blitz 2000 or some
the older
shit.
one, yeah. Little block characters and shit.
I'm surprised that they haven't had another Blitz in a while.
It's too violent.
Whatever.
Like people really went out and tried to break bones.
But I feel like, I don't know, it seems like a lot of people be into that these days.
Yeah,
that goes into like even NBA Street and stuff like that too. Like even like street ball's not as popular, like people will still like eat that shit up.
Yeah,
that's a whole other conversation. Oh shoot.
I was just looking at that, just as a side note. NFL Street and NFL Street 2 came out in the same year.
Did they?
What? That's crazy.
Wow, that's goofy.
NFL Street came out in January, and NFL Street 2 came out in December.
Huh. Wow. So maybe they were hoping Street, the first one was going to come out like the year before, and they maybe got delayed or something. And you know what? Even though I didn't remember that, I feel like I kind of remember that though.
Yeah. Because
I remember having the first one, and I sucked at it like I told you. Then I think because 2 came out, I was like, man, I ain't getting this. Like, I'm trash at this, whatever. Yes. But that's pretty goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what the hell is it? Oh, God. What were we on, number 5? Yeah, number 5.
It's my 5. Oh, okay. My 5, I had Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain.
No, didn't want to say 5.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I guess I could have 5, 5, 5, but yeah, I had that one because the one before that, 4, I was playing it on PlayStation 3, and that shit stumped me. Like, I just couldn't, man, and it just really, really hurt my soul. So when 5 came out, and I actually was like progressing through it, I feel like I was a different player once 5 came out or something, and I'm like, wow, I love stealth games. Man, this is the best. So yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 definitely is number 5 for me.
Yeah, that was in my long list of games too. And I know we had a lot of fun playing that when it first came out. That was in the 2015 was a good year. That's when that came out. That's another one where almost the opposite of where I talked about earlier, where the story was better than the gameplay. But like Metal Gear like 5, the gameplay is way better than the story. Yeah. Like it's just a lot of like crazy shit going on, which is cool. Kojima
Africa,
being weird.
Man, we all over the place.
But the gameplay in 5 is just like, man, this is just fun. Like, the open world isn't like the most, like, how should I put it? It's a big open world. It's not like the most detailed though, but just in terms of like, oh man, like you can balloon these people to your base and blah da 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 like all the time.
Yeah,
and, like,
that shit crazy.
That's crazy.
It's like capturing people and stuff. Or like recruiting them too.
Oh, that's tight.
And like the gunplay mechanics and everything are really fun. Like it's a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
Another one where I wish I would have beat, but
yeah, that's the same for me too, because I don't think I ever end up getting to the end of it.
Yeah,
but
I know I feel like I got like halfway, and for whatever reason I just stopped. I don't really know why.
It's really fun though, either way, because it's one of those games that you can just kind of pick up and play, even if you don't. You know what I'm saying? Necessarily going through the story, or if you just, like you said, just kind of like capturing people or just messing around in a way.
There's definitely ambulance across the street, which I'm pretty sure I know why, but we're not going to talk about that on this. There's nothing to do with this house, though. I can assure you that. Number 5 for me, unless you weren't done, Marlon.
Nah, that was it.
Number 5 for me, which is goofy because you just had a 5 for your 5. I got Persona 5 as my 5.
5.
Every TV show phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your number, babe. 555 1 2 3. So Persona 5 is my number 5. And once again, regurgitate a lot of stuff I've talked about before, but JRPG, a lot of cool style. You go to high school and you meet people and you're like, oh man, I'm in a lot of trouble in my personal life, but I got friends now. And now we're going to be cool together. Mm-hmm. But there's all these creepy people out here. We got to, for some reason, stop from doing creepy stuff now. So we're going to go in these weird dimensions and fight monsters and try to stop you from hurting people in Japan. And that's like the hard way to sell their game. But Persona 5 it's really good. And if you like JRPGs or just, whatever, like regular RPGs, it's something you should, another one where it's like, you got to try it out. Just from like the looks of it and just how much fun the characters are and the story. And this is one where the story and the gameplay are like equally as good. And it's like another like 100-something hour game, so it's a lot of time spent. But Persona 5 is just really good. Another where I'm like literally on the final boss now, and I'm just like, God damn it! Like I almost beat it, and I made a poor mistake in gameplay choices, and I messed it up for myself, so I never ever went back yet.
Damn.
But I just gotta weather the storm. But yeah, it's just really good, man. I was debating between this and Bloodborne, which one will be 5, but I chose Persona 5 just for maybe because it's just brighter and I played it more recently. Recency bias. Number 4, Mr. Mo.
Number 4, probably be 2K. 2K19. Because that's the last.
Because you like monetization in your video games?
Nah, 2K19.
You like 2K robbing you for everything you have just to be an 85 point guard?
Nah, 2K never robbed me, and I never got past 73. Nah, that's the last one heavy ass I played, and me and the buddies definitely played a lot of $5 games in 2K19, so
a lot of betting going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of betting in 2K19.
This question to 2K, because I haven't really played it for real in like a long time. Yeah. So, what would you say from like, we just talked about like 2K 11, 12 earlier.
Right.
Where do you see the game being different from then to now? Like, is it like the graphics are better and they kind of shoot a little smoother and the animations are better? Is it, what I'm saying? Is it deeper than that? Like, I don't know.
No, it's definitely a little deeper than that. Like, just the gameplay of basketball is way harder now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it used to be a little smoother, do a crossover.
Man, get a bucket.
Get a bucket or two. You know what I'm saying? Person might play some good defense, blah, blah, blah. But now, it's like, man, you gotta be like strategic. Like, you gotta put your
pick and roll.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta literally like call out some shit to actually get a bucket.
Screen. Yeah.
I'm trying to do some 2K, like you said, 10 or 13 and stuff on 19, and it don't work.
That's funny.
It don't work at all.
That's
just rough.
They definitely went for the sim route, which is funny because I was always kind of worried about how that would translate for a lot of people over time. Like, would people really want to get into the more simulation gameplay? You know what I mean? Because everybody, like you said, was so used to like, man, I can just dribble around and get a bucket. Yeah. But now it's like, man, you better play them positions right. Like,
play the positions, pass correctly, all that shit. It's a lot.
Which I guess almost kind of turns into a whole other thing of like, a cool game of chess for a lot of people because it's like, man, you don't know how to play ball, man.
Exactly.
You can't hoop, fam. You think hooping is just dribbling and shooting.
Exactly.
All right, watch this. Watch what I'm about to do to you.
Watch this weave on you.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly. Backcourt, the feelings going to be hurt, boy. You better not put that 2K in. That's the attitude.
Man, cause I used to be able to get some buckets on 2K, but man, I already know if I play one of y'all, it'd be a blowout.
Not me. I'm just playing on the Switch. I'm just here for the exercise.
You out there on that Globetrotter ball.
Man, I'm just trying to...
Since Apex came out, my 2K skills have went down the drain.
Yeah, it can't be that bad. It's like riding a bike, ain't it?
I mean, I could probably give a person a run for their money, but at the end, I don't know. I don't know how that ending going. I can't. I'm not for sure. I'm gonna whoop yo. I'm not for sure. Put a smack down.
You kind of doing this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Fourth quarter come and it's tight. Yeah, I'm probably sweaty.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying? You gotta get it together.
Do y'all remember back on the old 2Ks where the free throw shooting you had to match the lines up?
Yeah,
in the middle.
Yeah. I remember that. I hated that one. I hated this.
Hey, 2K was always tight to me. I never messed with Live. I remember
Live was decent. The 19 was decent. 19 was decent. But I don't know why they changed the graphics. Cause like back
I don't know what they want to do with Live.
Like 09, it looked pretty real. But now
it's definitely arcadey.
Yeah, now it's very arcade.
They try to make it look different enough, but they went the
try
wrong
to make
way.
That shit look like NBA Street.
Exactly.
NBA.
Hey, you remember when it was EA Big?
NBA Ballers.
Yeah.
Did you ever play that?
Yeah.
That
Played
was
all that too. That shit was crazy.
They was really like, man, these black folk gonna want these jewelry and these rims, boy. We gonna make this game.
When they hoop, boy. That's the whole reason why they hoop it. Because hoop dreams.
Was it Steph Marbury on the cover of
Yeah.
that? Yeah, that's funny, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. What a time, boy.
R.I.P. to EA Big.
For real.
What a time. Back. NBA, they did have sequels to that. Chauncey Billups was on it. That's
Man,
great.
they had all of them.
And you know what else is funny about that shit was ugly,
man.
Boy. It was ugly, boy.
Yeah,
it was not a good looking game at all.
No.
It was juice meter. That's crazy.
Whew.
No.
That's right.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Man, Marbury had that velour suit on. I know you can't see it from here, but
can't be hooping in that either, boy.
Oh man.
Hey, that's the old school hooping. I definitely been on the court. Old school come out some Timbs. I'm about to put it down on y'all. Let's go. What you mean? In the Timbs, in the work pants.
Oh man,
they definitely be out there. It's not a lie. That cover ain't lying. You'll find your old school come out in full gear.
Oh shoot.
Full club gear about to come out on.
That was definitely a time, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, number 4, Mr. Marlon.
Number 4, I had Ali.
Ali, that's I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, number 4, Ali, man, that game, I love Ali. I still love Ali. It's just like a 16-bit like skateboard game, and that shit's just so fun. It was just you just basically like side scrolling. You can push and stuff, but it just kind of goes for you for the most part, and you just got to time your tricks basically. So it's pretty simple, but it got to being kind of difficult with the challenges that they wanted you to do, score certain points, do certain tricks, you know what I'm saying? But that shit was really fun. I played a lot. Because it was that kind of game that's like Guitar Hero, the lines moving the whole time, so when you get done playing, everything else is like, because you've been looking at that for so long.
That's tight. I
should have
played that. Since you say a skating game, Skate was my shit.
Yeah,
Skate 1 and 2.
And that's the reason why that was kind of cool, because that was the most like recent skating game that was like, damn, this is tight that I had played. You know what I'm saying?
It's pretty scarce these days.
Yeah, exactly.
Skate 4, where you at?
I'm waiting on it. No, I'm just kidding.
Everybody wants some Skate 4. Ain't tripping.
They tripping.
Whoa.
Man, my number 4, Pokemon Black and White. Specifically Black and White.
Yeah, I had that on there for like 2.
Now, there's obviously Sun and Moon and X and Y and Let's Go, and then I can't think of the new one that just came out. Sword and Shield just came out. But Black and White came out with 2011, 2012 or some shit like that. And this is where I was like, man, this is where Pokemon finally took another turn for doing something different.
Yeah.
And it was like a whole new region, obviously, like they usually do, but like in the Pokemon, where like it's a whole new 150 Pokemon, which we haven't had another Pokemon game have that many new Pokemon once since then. And plus, all of them were like kind of based after like Gen 1 in a lot of ways, but they're just like these new cool variations and shit like that. But man, like this is one where finally people are like, oh man, Pokemon story is actually decent. Like there's actually something to read here, not just scroll through.
Right.
And yeah, just the world was tight, man. The gameplay was fun in that one. The Pokemon designs are really tight. And like I said, I put Black and White in there just because I feel like that was the last time where they really like took some chances on a lot of that. And that was like the last time where the designs, you know what I'm saying, where they really took all those designs and like really put them out there. It's like it's harder to make, you know, all these Pokemon and stuff like that. You know, so I can't imagine doing that shit. But like, at the same time, it's like, and I'm getting older, so maybe my like views on Pokemon keep skewing and stuff. And like I'm hyped for it, like regardless. But you know, I beat Sword and Shield or whatever, and I'm like, I don't like clamor for it as much right now for whatever reason. But that's a whole other conversation. But I don't know. Black and White was just kind of like, man, I hope all Pokemon is gonna be like this. Because even when Black and White 2 came out, which is kind of a slash for me, because that was where they really put a lot of variety in the what you can catch and everything, and what you can do after the game ends and stuff like that. So yeah, Black and White is really good, man. I wish we had those in 3D.
Yeah, because I went back and played that again like recently.
Yeah,
like a couple years, like not last year, like 2016 or so.
Yeah, I do remember. I thought you were about to say like yesterday or something.
It's like just like playing all the way through. I did at that point when I like started fresh or something. Started a new mode, and you know what I'm saying. Just got back into it again because it's definitely a good ass Pokemon for sure.
Yeah, man, it's good stuff. That's my number 4. Now we on number 3.
My number 3 is the recent Star Wars that just came out.
Fallen Order.
Yeah, Fallen Order. I think that was my number 3 because I mean I'm still playing it obviously, but I'm definitely enjoying it.
Yeah.
How
what's your level of Star Wars like fandom?
It's pretty
appreciated.
It's pretty high, but it's not like deep high. But
yeah,
it's pretty high. I mean, I've watched all the movies. I done kept up with a few side stories.
Yeah,
but no, I definitely love Star Wars.
Yeah, we just bought that mug. But 2-3 days ago, so I ain't even scratched on it yet.
I was playing a little bit before. That's what I was telling you too. We was talking about it before we started recording. I was playing a little bit before I came over here, and I put it on like medium difficulty. Like but I don't know, man. That shit hard. It was beating me up.
Yeah, I know there was like looking at it, and from what people said, it's a little Dark Souls-ish in the game. Dark Souls-ish in the gameplay. Like
timing is everything.
Yeah,
you gotta be on point with
it. Ain't
your
like
moves.
Sekiro hard, is it?
Nah, I wouldn't that hard.
But I'd be like, I gotta take this mug back.
Nah, it's not that hard.
And at least in this case, there are difficulty settings. So if it is that hard and you just want to get through it, you can definitely turn that shit down.
Let me go and pipe this down one time.
That shit is crazy.
This is definitely enjoyable. It's definitely giving me a game to play without, you know what I'm saying, when the homies or nobody's on.
Yeah, some like single player stuff.
It's a great single player game to play without having to deal with everybody else. I just be by myself playing focused.
Move on to number 2 then. I mean, wait, 3?
Yo, number 3. Wait a second.
You know me accountable. I'm a fool with that shit. But number 3 though, I had Limbo. Yeah, I don't know if you know that game or not, but it was just like an arcade game. And it was just this dude like Silhouette basically, and he was just like, you just have to get through, and it wasn't like no superpowers. He didn't have no superpowers or nothing, just like regular
puzzles
jump.
And stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just figuring out puzzles basically, and like it was tight. It wasn't really because it wasn't like it was real simple in that like just traveling through side scrolling, basically just getting from one end of the map, one end of the world to the other, and like I say, you couldn't touch nothing or hit nothing or nothing. Everything would like kill you or whatever, knock you out. It was just a fun little puzzle game though, and I had a real good time. I played it on something like, maybe I played on like my iPad or something, like mobile first, and then I played it again, and I beat it on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I didn't play it until few years ago because I coincidentally. Cause I did, when I was looking through like what games came out, I was like, damn, because Limbo I think came out like
2010.
It was 2010,
initially,
because that was like the first like big like you said arcade game, but that was like the first like big indie game where you know what I'm saying, especially for like that kind of like different art style and stuff like that, like you saying, just being silhouette like black and
sharp
white
too, like everything was real like sharp,
paper cut out almost. Because, like, even, like, with the first part of the game, you gotta, like, kill, like, that big-ass spider or whatever. You gotta, like, get the rock to, like, roll it over or something like that.
Yeah, you gotta figure it out, basically.
And it's... No, keep going.
No, I was just gonna say that, and that kind of is, like, also what I liked about it. It was, like, kind of creepy in that way. Because it was real, like, quiet and, like, real, like, bones, like... in the background, that kind of noise and
kind
stuff.
of feel the oh god,
it's crazy. Like,
what's next?
Yeah, scary in here. What I'm about to run into? It's gonna be a spider. I was like, you fought a big ass spider. Like, so what's next?
You got it's like because it's almost, and this is they don't tell you there's no talking because it's like you really just kind of figure out you're just like this little boy like. Stuck on an island, and there's these like other kids that would like rather kill you than be friends. It's basically like, and they just put you in these bad situations, and it's like, it's like you said, it's tight. It's one of those things where it's not a long game because like when I played it only took me a few hours. Like I sat down one day and I was like, man, I'm just gonna play this, man. It's really good.
And that put me in the mind of when that game came out. This other game called Braid. Yeah, I really liked that game. That was a super puzzle game, and it was like time moved forward when you moved and when you went backwards and blah blah blah. So, when Limbo came, I was like, wow, this is just like Brain. Oh my god, this is exactly what I've been looking for.
Yeah, I had enough. I don't think I played Braid, but I definitely remember seeing it whenever that was.
Yeah, it was an ugly little like hobby dude, and you had to like get these puzzle pieces and make these pictures and stuff.
That's so funny. So look up Braid and you get everything but what I wanted. Little too literal.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was tight. Yeah. The music was tight on there too. It was like real like hobbity, but like I don't even know how to describe it. It was like Hogwarts music.
Yeah, Hogwarts music, nerd music.
Yeah, it was tight though.
No, I like that choice. Limbo is definitely a good one. That was on my list too. I think I put it on my list. If not, it should have. Now I did put it on there on the big list. Limbo is really good. Definitely. Number 3, right? Yeah. Number 3 for me, and this is where it gets tough. When I actually was like, what are my top 3? I decided to put Breath of the Wild as number 3.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's number 3. Well, I shouldn't say reason why it's number 3, but it's a toss-up on these last 3, really. But Breath of the Wild is like, I mean, everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people know what like Legend of Zelda is. And Breath of the Wild was like, well, we're going to change it a little bit, which they always do. But they're like, nope, open world this time. And everybody's like, oh, open world Zelda, I guess. And then they're like, but you can do whatever you want. You've heard that like in every video game.
Yeah.
But Zelda is like one of the few times where you actually can do what the fuck you want. And this is another case of like, I put like 130 hours in this game. Like, where Breath of the Wild came out, we talked about, obviously, we're like, same time Horizon Zero Dawn did. Where you're like, okay, open worlds can be like this, or they can be like this. And Zelda put it on this side where I'd rather be able to climb everything and actually be like, okay, I see that mountain, I can get there however the hell I really want to. Like, and I'm not like even. I mean, it's built that way, obviously, but it's like I don't feel restricted.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like, and it's not the. In terms of like, in a lot of ways, I would rather play like a Horizon in terms of like how the mechanics work of like fighting and stuff like that. But just in terms of like, man, once again, being invested in a world, like, because it was the first, Switch game basically. And I just remember like, that was like when I was like, man, the Switch is really what I wanted.
Yes.
Like, I'm in bed playing this fucking massive game, like, you know what I'm saying, like, for hours on end, like I said, 130 hours or whatever, and just being so like, man, this is just crazy. Like, I can literally, like, get an apple off the tree and, like, shoot a fire arrow at it and it catches on fire. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can't do that.
Or, like, just, like, the random cooking stuff, which, like, made sense for, like, a little bit, but it's just kind of like, I can just throw all this shit in a pot and Link's go make some weird concoction. Like, you know, it's just the weird thought that they put in that game. And, like, the dungeon and stuff are, like, kind of like, they're okay, but then just the open world and just being able to just do whatever you wanted and, like, everything that happened for, like, a reason. Yeah. It's just, like, so, like, I guess I can just say magical, I guess, to be corny, but...
That shit was cool because, like, you could just go out and, like, tame a wild horse.
Yeah.
And, like, you know.
Yeah, that's tight. I like
just shit like that. And, like, find special horses and only that's in this one area or whatever. It was just random ass stuff that's like that made that game super tight.
And even, like... And that was, like, a big game. This was, like, where... internet community was like really doing its job, where people be like, man, did you see that? Like, you'd be like, man, I ain't see that shit, but hey, you see that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, having a game where you can literally like do something and no one else had did it yet type thing. Like, it's just so like different. And it's something that a lot of games still are really not doing now. So it's just like, man, it's like really, this is like really crazy. Like, and I know they're making Breath of the Wild 2, so I'm hoping it's gonna be able to do the same thing. But like, and I wish I could play that game again without the knowledge of like what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? 'Cause I can't get that same discovery back. But at the same, it's like it's still just like, wow, like I was not expecting that out of a game. Just be like, man, this is just like what I thought open worlds was doing. Like, this one definitely did a whole new thing for me.
That's tight.
But yeah, that's my number 3.
Number 3.
Mr.
Number
2. It was a difficult number 2 for me. But I went with an older game I like very much, Kung Fu Chaos.
Kung Fu Chaos. I was trying to make sure that's what you said.
Yo, that's
I was like a weird way. I was like, Kung Fu Chaos.
It came out on the first Xbox.
First Xbox. You can't go that far back. You got to choose something else.
Oh,
that is too far.
That's too
2003.
Far. Is it?
Yeah.
It's way too far. You got to go to 10 years later.
Gotcha.
That's crazy. I ain't never heard that shit in my life. Now I'm interested. Did you not hear the rules, Mo?
I did not hear the rules. I broke the rules.
He said from the double decade.
From the double decade. But if I was to switch it, it'd probably be it's Mortal Kombat.
Which one?
Got a lot of choices on that one.
Yeah.
And I'm really overlooking at this like I ain't never seen this. Well, it's crazy.
Yeah, I remember that game.
It was great.
I don't think I had it, but I remember somebody.
I ain't never had it. That's so funny.
It was the one where you were traveling around like Liu Kang, open world type stuff between dimensions and shit.
You can't go that far back again.
Is that not 10 either?
That's that was last decade. Oh, you talking about Shaolin monks?
Not Shaolin monks. No.
You talking about Deception? Where he was the open world thing? You killing me, Mo. You know what I'm talking about? Was it Deception where they had the open world where
no,
yeah, that was Deception.
Yeah, was it Deception?
Yeah, that was like
not
way
Deception.
Back.
Armageddon, or is that still too old?
Yeah, Mo, where you living at, man?
Rock, I guess.
Oh man, we got to. I'm gonna have to be like this. Mo is sipping the raw juice when he got the message. I didn't say the millennium, Mo.
I guess I don't know my years of games.
And that's what it comes down to. What do you actually know?
Like Marlon over here with the internet pulling up or something.
Oh, man.
Shit.
He said Kung Fu Chaos. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. I put it up 2003.
Well, if we would go 2, then it'd probably be this recent Call of Duty.
Oh, man. I'll let you slide on that one.
Yeah, you might as well let me slide.
Oh, God.
But the recent Call of Duty. Modern Warfare. Because that's probably about the most recent Call of Duty I've played since Black Ops, like 1.
You said Modern Warfare?
Yeah, this recent one that came out.
Which I'm glad you brought that up, though, because I was thinking about that game earlier today and how it, just in terms of, like, Call of Duties and, everybody, it's the same thing or whatever. It's Call of Duty. It doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, Modern Warfare, I feel like it is my favorite one since probably the Black Ops 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Like, really looking back. And just, I don't even know if I really have a reason why. Because Call of Duty is just a thing where you have to play it and figure out if you like it or not. Like, you talked about World War II and how much you like that one. And I was just kind of like, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's just something, just whatever it is about it. But this one definitely, even with, like, gunfight being really fun. And even, I mean, I think I experienced, because they got the napalm strike on there, which is, like, pretty controversial, I figured out. But, like, I feel like I experienced that for the first time on there the other day. Unless it was something else, but I feel like it was. I was like, what the fuck is this? But, yeah, no, Modern Warfare is really good. I'll let you slide with that one, Mo.
I appreciate that.
But, like, Marlon, get your mans.
Hey, I told him the decade,
Oh, shoot, that's funny. I'll let you get past on that one. Marlon, number 2.
For number 2, I had Forza Horizon 3, actually. Because that was, like, what I realized was the main reason why I wanted to play the Xbox at that time. It was like, damn, this game is so tight. You can customize these cars so much. And it was like that simulation style, but it still was like arcadey. It was real tight to me. The graphics was super cool. So I'm like, yeah, Forza is that one. Boy. That was the closest thing that got to like Midnight Club in a while, as far as like customization and how much like street stuff you could do and like professional racing you could do.
Man, what was that? 2016 that came out, something like that.
16.
Yeah, Forza Horizon 3 is really good. I've only played a little bit of 4. Wait, come here, boy. Come here. Grab him for me. Yeah, no, Forza Horizon, like you said, it's really fun on the scale of realism and arcadiness and not being too much of one or the other.
Yeah.
Just riding around doing what the hell. I couldn't imagine that game, like, if we had it back in the younger days. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I probably would have never... That's the type of game you would have never put down when you was a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the day.
Just for how much you can just kind of do random stuff. You can just, like, race at any point in time. Anybody around. Random people.
Yeah.
Especially because it's, like, online now. But, like, random people be around. So you kind of can drive and race with your friends. And just drive around town with your friends and shit. Yeah. That game was really tight. Nobody... when I was playing it, nobody was really playing except for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as like online goes, but I was still having a good ass time playing that mode though. So that was my number 2.
Mr. Dog, Mr. Russell, Mr. Russ. Yeah, number 2. What I have is number 2. Number 2. This is where I was putting it up in debate. I had Breath of the Wild as number 3, and I put Witcher 3 as my number 2. I feel like 1 because it's like. Still, I feel like the biggest open world to me. The deepest open world in terms of story and side quest and just like combat and different like shit you can find. The characters are really interesting. Like I said, the story's really good. The main character is really good. And that's something you kind of, in a lot of games, you know how... You can kind of, like, especially like a Pokemon or something, where you can just be like this dude. It could be anybody. And you're not saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? But like, he's like the least important part of the game, really. Yeah. But like, Witcher is like, you know, the Witcher is the character. You know what I'm saying? And you like, you make these choices with him or whatever. You know, and you could be like, oh man, I don't really like this guy. You know what I'm saying? But Witcher, you really like the main character. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of like the situations, they somehow make you like understand, like, this works out, you know, this checks out for like whatever good reason. Dude, you're killing me. But yeah, like, and it just, like I said, just how deep that game is and the different, like, cause because you only played it for like half a second, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if you got to like the main world of it.
No, I didn't do nothing.
Because like what Witcher 3 did, and the first time I played it, because I feel like I got it on like a midnight release.
Mm-hmm.
Like you start off and like you're like, oh man, this is pretty damn big. Like I'm about to do some stuff. And you like go into like the bar or whatever, and you play like Gwent, which is like the side, which that's another thing I'll talk about, but you play Gwent for like the first time, and I think you fight a couple people, whatever, and you're like, okay, this is pretty big. And then you get out of that first little prologue mission, and then you realize there's like a whole other like 3 other like worlds like way bigger. It's like, oh shit, like what is this?
That's crazy.
Mr. Lick, stop licking me. It's just like crazy, man. Like it came out, like I said, 2015, which a lot of good stuff came out that year. And it's another one where I didn't beat, and I'm like really close to beating it. And whatever reason why I didn't, but I had to put it number 2 just because like I can't imagine like another open world being like that.
Yeah. And
like Cyberpunk's coming out next year, so we'll see what happens with that. And it's supposed to be a more condensed world because it's a city and stuff, but it's supposed to be so much shit going on.
Yeah.
But you know, I talked about how much I like the Discovery and Breath of the Wild, but the thing that Breath of the Wild lacked, which Witcher has, is the different, like I said, the characters and like the story elements and all the side stuff you can do that makes a lot of sense. And the side quests for a lot of it were a lot better than a lot of the main missions.
Yeah.
Which is really good about it. A lot of people like didn't like how he fights in there, but I was like, man, the fight is pretty cool. He like silver for monsters and steel for humans and stuff like that. And
yeah,
he's like, I'm the Witcher. But you play Gwent, which is like the little side fun like card game in there. And on there, it's pretty simple. It's like you get like 20 something cards, and I'm not even like going into detail about it, but it was like I didn't expect to have a card game in a video game, like another game, being so like interested, whatever. But you'd have to just play to understand, really.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Witcher 3 is my number 2. Mr. Rusta Dog.
What you got, Mo? What's your number 2?
My number 2, or is it my?
It's number 1 now. Yeah,
because I forgot he started it.
My number 2 is kind of whack.
Kung Fu Chaos.
Still
we didn't have podcasts back then.
Best game of my life, I guess. But no, my number 1 is definitely Apex.
Yeah,
it's definitely Apex. I've been going hella hard at Apex, like so. I mean, I play by myself, play with the squad.
Do you like the new map better, or do you like the first, like the original?
I definitely
King's
like
Canyon.
Yeah,
what's
I definitely
the new
like
map called? World's End or something? Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, World's Edge.
World's Edge. Yeah.
But no, I definitely like King's Canyon way better.
Yeah,
I'm ready for that to come back,
or
at least some type of something like that, or for a next map,
nostalgic mode and shit like that. Like that shit been out for 10 years. Been like 2.
Like just have something destroy all the cities. I'm good.
I figured out. I feel like I already kind of realized it, but thinking about it, because on like PUBG, they have like 3 or 4 maps on there, and if you play on there, you kind of realize that it splits up the player base so much. So I think that's the reason why they didn't do that on Apex.
Why they didn't go back?
Because they would have had too many people like, well, I'm cool, I'm gonna stay over here, and a lot of people would have never messed with the new map if they had, you know what I'm saying, they didn't have to. So.
But I feel like now it's been out long enough. You got your stats. Everybody thinks it's cool. It's a cool new thing. You can go back to the other one, or at least have the option to. I feel like
at least have an option.
I mean, you know what I'm saying. I feel like it's not a waste that you made it, but at the same time, like at least give me the option to play.
Yeah, because like
go back and play on the King's Canyon or something, or to like choose. Which I know even if you chose before the match started, like you said, that would really split up people and who wants to play, but. So it's like, man, splitting me up anyway because now I don't want to play. I don't want to play this shit.
But as a game, Mo, what do you think separates Apex from other games? You know what I'm saying? Or other shooter games, or other battle royales, or what? You know what I'm saying specifically? Yeah. Like, where do you think it really does that make you like, damn, Apex?
Probably all the powers people have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes it a little different for me. Because, what I'm saying? You could like definitely put a couple characters together and like actually make the powers correlate.
Yeah, everybody's little special abilities.
Yeah, to make you get a little better advantage or just
have a strong team. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel that.
I think that's what makes it the best.
Different
from a lot.
I'm not gonna cut you off.
No, that's cool.
But you're talking about the powers and stuff, and I'm like, I didn't put Overwatch in my honorable mentions that I meant to, because that's a pretty important game to me in the last 4 or 5 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I thought about it again, because you bring up powers and stuff, which is a lot of reason people kind of compared Overwatch and Apex at first, because in Overwatch, it's not, Battle Royale, team-based shooter, but everybody has like they 3 or whatever, like different powers and stuff. Yeah. And Soldier did 76 as this and that, whatever. So I just wanted to bring up that Overwatch is in my honorable mentions too, because I played a whole lot of that. Yeah. I tried to get Marlon, and he was like, "I'm cool."
I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I'll try one. Might want to get it on the Switch. Now that it's on the Switch, but I don't know.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was just like,
I'll be wanting to play it again, but like I don't never have nobody to play with, so I just don't even like mess with it. But no, Apex though. Back to what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Nah, you good. Nah,
that's pretty much it. Might as well sway away.
And then the only other thing I was gonna add to like Marlon with the maps and stuff is they brought out the Halloween event on the old map. So it's like, I think we should be able
like, you still have it, man. I see it.
Exactly. You teasing me and stuff about it now.
I know you in there. Come on out.
Exactly. So, but yeah, that's about it for me. But Apex is my number 1.
I can dig that.
Yeah. So for me, my number 1, I just went with Uncharted 3, Drake's Uncharted 3. Because that was like the first game that I bought when I bought my PlayStation 3. Because I bought a PlayStation 3, that was like the first real system that I bought my own money and shit. So when I bought that, then I had Drake's, and that was like one of the first and only games that I had for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? In the beginning.
Because what was that, 2011?
Yeah. So it was already out. You know what I'm saying? It had already been a game, but it was a PlayStation exclusive. And before that, I had an Xbox. So that was really also my first real like experience with like a PlayStation exclusive on my own. And I just really had a good time. And it had, at that same time, that was Little Big Planet 1, 2, I think. Yeah. And they had a bunch of like Drake skins on there. And it was just like stuff that you could, it was just like stuff that you could like cross over. You know what I'm saying? Because that was like a big thing at the time. So it was like, oh yeah, we got Drake's Uncharted stuff over here. Yeah. Get this scarf just like Drake, and you might be in the desert too. It was just real tight. It was just really. That's what's up. The story was really gripping too.
Gripping.
Wow, this is so. What's gonna happen next, man? What's Sully up to, man?
My bad.
Nah.
Because was Uncharted 2 2009 or 2010?
2009.
Okay, damn. Because I thought about it, I was like, was it? I feel like I didn't get it till 10.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's when I got my PS3. So it must have came 09. Cause that's one album I always choose. Cause I never even played 3.
Yeah.
So I can't even like really say too much about it. I know people kind of debate which one is better or not.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna go back though.
But yeah, 3 is the one for me. I feel like.
No, I like that choice.
How about you, man? Last one.
You know what it's gonna be. Man. You can just say it for me. And my number 1 is God of War. Because I've been talking about it for 2 years straight.
Yeah, I'm like, it's crazy, but that was a really good game.
Definitely not a bad one.
I was thinking, like, either Marlon didn't put it in there because he don't like it, or he didn't because he know I was gonna put it in there.
Nah, it wasn't because I didn't like it. Actually, I did not think about it, but I think I did think that you was gonna say something about it. So I just was like, I know that it'll get talked about.
Have you played God of War?
I've played all of them and haven't beat one.
But you played the most recent one.
Yeah, I played the most recent.
I was like, we ain't talking about 20 years ago again. But yeah, God of War, man, is just like
that shit was
crazy
fire though.
Because when you think about it, the mechanics is fire, the story's fire, the graphics is fire.
Boy,
oh shoot,
it's iconic, man.
And you think about, like, you know, I talk about these last two been open world games, but God of War is like the in between of like being open enough, but it's linear to the point where it's like you got this direction.
Yeah, you still got to do this, but here goes some other stuff you can do if you're bored.
Like, it's definitely like the perfect balance to me of like having that like freedom and like them saying like, man, we got a story to tell at the same time, and even just with like you boating around and I can't think of his name. Being like,
that was a planet. I mean, a place you can go. It was
he was like Bodenheim or something.
Now it was something mean.
What was his name? But just how dude would tell you like the different lore and stuff, and you know, and you dealing with your son Atreus and his rise to being a little jerk and figuring out
it was Mummy.
Powerful. It was what?
Mumir,
yes.
It was Mir though.
But and Kratos being like a more likable dude, and even though he's been through all these troubled times and stuff, you realizing like he really tried to change up, you know what I'm saying, but shit always happens to him somehow. And I know I've read a few people online over the year or so being like the game is so good in the beginning because of that initial fight with dude, and then after that it doesn't really meet that, and I was like, you can say that, but I just felt like if you really, I don't know, just looking at it as a whole product, man, like I just can't like, and this kind of goes back to like the Spider-Man thing too, where that was a game that made me realize how much I like video games, but like God of War is like, man, damn, like
I definitely get
this is where, you know what I'm saying, you could really do some stuff, you know what I'm saying, because a lot of times people can be like, oh, well, open worlds, and now we're kind of tired of it because there's so many of them. Then people are like, oh, I don't want to be restricted to this path, but like I feel like God of War really put that.
It was both.
So like such a good healthy perspective.
Mix. 100% agree.
Healthy mix.
Yeah, man, I don't want to go too far on that one. Because I'm talking about it so much.
It's such a good game, though. It's hard not to once you get going.
Yeah, that's another one where like I've told you many times. I'm like, I want to go and platinum it, but it's just like, man, I just make that time and stuff.
And I think also I forget about that too because I've been buying digital games, all pretty much all the recent stuff that I bought. But I had the physical of that, and I ended up giving it to my dad. So where I wanted to go back and be like, all right, let me go back and really like just spend some random time playing this.
Man,
I can't because I don't have it no more. So I gotta get it again. Till I get it again, then I will though, for sure.
Oh man,
because that shit definitely is tight for sure.
Yeah, man. I just like if I didn't put it number one, I'd be lying. So I had to. But yeah, man, I think that was our top 10s, man.
Top 10 of the decade and a little bit of extra.
10 and 8.
Yeah. a little curveball
was getting
there.
into the bag. He said, oh, man, I could talk about Kung Fu
Put it out there for the world.
Oh, man. Hey, but like, you know, it's talking about how like the Spider-Man, there's like all those Spider-Man games, like mid-tier games, whatever. He's like, oh, I don't know if I want to mess with that. And like I had never heard of no Kung Fu Chaos before, but like back when we was kids, though, they have random shit like that.
Games
like,
that you wouldn't even know. Yeah, she would be like, "Wait, what are you playing? What is this? Where did you even find that?"
I feel like I had all of those.
Get that little clearance being games.
Yeah, for sure. So it'd be some good stuff. I mean, and that's pretty much basically the same thing now as like the free games of the month and shit that you get, and it's like just like little random shit. Somebody's like, you know what, this game is fun. Let me see if anybody else is like this.
Yeah, exactly, yo.
Man, yeah, that's definitely funny. Oh man,
Little blooper for
Well, I like these lists.
Yeah, for sure.
I wasn't sure where that was gonna lead because I was like, I know what I'm gonna say, but it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. I'm glad you were here, Mo, even though I made fun of that. But having different stuff, because like I said, a lot of those games, I'm like, man, I never really even fooled with that and heard anybody talk about it. That's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Oh man, I think that's wrapping it up. I guess
calling it a sold, man.
The end of 2019. Hopefully this probably won't be out before that, but be out in early of the new year.
Be the first one for 2020, first pod of 2020.
Beautiful.
If you made it this far, I hope you liked it. I hope you subscribe. I hope you follow. I hope you comment and tell us what you thought and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate our contributors on what they like from the decade. And
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's.
I'm Ryan Seacrest, and this is... Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that shit funny. Should have ended on that. Should have turned it off.
Oh, shoot. Well, I'm Jordan Carmichael. I usually don't say my name at the end, but I feel like I needed to.
I guess so. You know, it's your boy. I've always been like reluctant when you redo that. And I'm like, here we go. Intro again.
Sorry. Just want people to know us a little bit.
Yeah, man. If you don't know if you listen to this whole episode and you don't know by now, then it's cool. Just get on. Just slide, bro.
Jeez, Marlon. Mr. Maurice Cheeks over here.
Maurice Cheeks. On the podcast.
Said cheeks is for different cheeks.
Different cheeks. See more butts. And on that note, everybody, thank you. And all right, peace.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.